Just Kalee, Dionne with us in studio tonight. First, Kalee, it's great to see you in person.
Yes. Awesome.
But let's talk about this. What are you thinking as far as timing on round 2?
So it's going to be one of those where we have to kind of see the development. If anything fires up ahead of the cold front, it could be closer to midnight. Then the actual line along the cold front will be more like 3 o'clock in the morning to going into Monday morning.
Overnight storms.
I know it's not fun for anybody because then you're stressed out before you go to bed. Just have a way to get warnings, and we're going to keep you up to date all throughout the evening hours. Let's look at what's out there right now on our satellite and radar. The round of showers and thunderstorms that we got that hail and Allen out of is now going to be crossing over the Red River and out of here. We'll zoom in with our level 2 radar near Clarksville. They're not packing as much of a punch, so there's just heavy rainfall and a little bit of lightning. I'm going to widen it back out again because if you look here, if you look at the loop, they all developed along that warm front. Warm front is here, and that's where some of the rain is now, as that warm front continues to push it to the north and east. So this is round 1. So now everyone's like, okay, well, what's happening? Well, we're going to kind of sit here and see a few showers here and there, a little bit of light rainfall, but overall a break before we get into the evening. We'll start to see that rain chance go up as we go into the closer to midnight, then 2 to 4 o'clock in the morning, 80% in coverage for the chance of the rain. So that's the main time frame as that cold front moves through. We're going to look at it with a little bit more detail, talk about our threats and updates in the data that's coming in, Teresa, when I see you in a few minutes.
All right, sounds good. This is it. The weather has moved through and we've escaped, but that is not the case, is it, Kalee?
No, we're kind of in a waiting game right now. We had our first round that has moved through, most of that now moving up north of the Red River, but we still have to wait until later. I'm going to talk about kind of some of the details that go along with it, but we had some really good video and pictures that came in from some of the storms that moved through earlier. Here's one from Hale and Allen this afternoon from Tinsley and Teagan on Twitter. You can see it. I mean, it's pretty small, but it was great. You could see it piling up in the grass there. Thank you for sending those in. It's really important when we have weather like this that you send us safely pictures and video, because we can't be everywhere. But again, the key word there is safely. Here's a look at satellite and radar where you can see where some of those showers and thunderstorms that brought that hail to Allen. They're now up near Clarksville, Texarkana, and kicking on out of here. So what we have down over DFW is going to be a little bit of mist, maybe a light shower, but overall we get a break from any rainfall. I do see a shower just to the north of Lancaster and right along the 635 loop there. It's going to move over Mesquite here in a minute. Also Rockwall County, you have a good heavy downpour there to Royce City. So these are just some of the things that we're going to have around now as we move forward through the rest of the evening. But the one thing I want to point out is we looked at this briefly at the beginning of the show, but I didn't have quite enough time to break it down. This is the warm front. We were initially thinking this warm front would be a little bit farther to the north here by this point. So warm sector is down here. So as we move forward, this warm front, it's going to continue to move north if you look here, but the longer it takes, the better it is for us, because we do not want severe weather. And as long as that warm sector stays a little bit more to the south, it may limit our chance for severe weather as we go into the overnight hours. So we'll be keeping an eye on that. Otherwise, looking at our timecast here, moving forward, let's talk about timing for the next round of storms. So there will be storms. It's just how strong they are is the question. Here's a look at one of the parts that we need to watch out for. Any development ahead of the line of storms that will develop along a cold front. Some of the models are picking it up, some aren't, and here's one I wanted to show because the potential. So this would be closer to 11 o'clock midnight, and we could see some heavy downpours. This could develop some very large hail, up to golf ball size hail. And then watch as this front moves through overnight into early tomorrow by 4 or 5 o'clock. So DFW, you're looking more about 2 to 5. It's a very broken line of storms. So a few of the storms within the line could be developing and have some very large hail, wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour, and an isolated tornado threat. What I'm looking at this point isn't looking too impressive, and I'm happy about that. But still, the Storm Prediction Center does have us in a slight risk for severe weather as we go into the overnight hours. So let's go over those storm threats. Again, winds in excess of 60 miles per hour, hail quarter size to up to egg size. And then if you look, heavy rain, isolated tornadoes. Again, tornado threat is low, but it's not non-existent. So sometimes it's easier to look at it visually, breaking it down like a timeline. So now through 9 o'clock, scattered showers and thunderstorms could develop. Some could be severe, up to golf ball size hail. Then the line of storms moves in as we go into the overnight hours. A broken line of storms. A few of those storms could potentially be severe. Have a way to receive warnings either way. today. So how can you do that? Talk through your severe weather plan right now. Know your safe space. So when you're kind of foggy in the middle of the night and you're like, what's happening? You know where you need to go. Also, you could get a weather radio handy or download the WFAA app. Also, you can sign up for Weather Call, WFAA.com/weather call. This is the time to do that because we still have several hours until then. So know now what you're going to do. Let's go back over that forecast for tonight. Of course, talking about those thunderstorms, 54 degrees overnight into tomorrow morning. Tomorrow, even though a cold front's going to be moving in the morning, temperatures are going to be fantastic, about 67 degrees. And finally, some sun. Those storms move out by 6, 7 o'clock in the morning for DFW, for 8, 9 o'clock in the morning for East Texas. So the rest of the day, we're going to be seeing clearing skies and finally breaking this nasty weather pattern that we've been in. So here's a look at the 10-day forecast. You can see that we've got temperatures right around 61 on Tuesday. We cool off briefly. A second cold front moves through, more of a dry frontal passage, but we see that. And then we're watching another chance for showers and thunderstorms as we move into next weekend, Teresa. So we'll look at that later. We just got to get through tonight first, but at least we can look forward to some sun later.
So I'm assuming that by 10 o'clock you might have a better idea of exactly sort of what the,
Yes.
and we know the timeline, but just how strong those storms might be.
Yeah, you definitely want to join us at 10 because I will be
Perfect.
seeing the line develop. We'll have a new data that's coming in, so you want to tune in for that.
Absolutely appreciate it. Thanks.